a GM got fired. I completely forgot. Oh my god, we should have led with this. The Vancouver Canucks.
They did that
The
too.
other directionless mess. Ladies and gentlemen, No, I did it again. Oh my god,
Are you doing
the
this on purpose?
Philadelphia Flyers have fired general manager Chuck Fletcher. Danny Briere, finalist for the Habs job, finalist for the AGM job in Arizona, as Jeff Merrick reminded me last night. Not me personally, but on the broadcast.
No,
Um,
no, you personally. He called you.
exactly. Danny Briere is now interim head GM. Oh my God, interim GM. Yeah, not head coach. Jesus Christ. Who knows
Wow.
what happens with Tortorella though? Even though it sounds like he's going to stay, but Danny Briere, interim GM, his job to lose at the moment. This happens not long after the trade deadline, Alex, as you very much pointed out on Twitter. And the question has to be asked, especially because it sounded like on Hockey Night they said they were going to wait to the end of the year to do this, which makes the fact he was GM. I would like to know when they reached that decision. And if the trade deadline was the straw that broke the camel's back, that means they knew going into the deadline that they were going to fire him. So I would love to know when the Flyers originally thought they were going to get rid of him. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, let me answer the question from my perspective. They should have figured this out last summer when, after trading for Rasmus Ristolainen, doubled down, extended him, said, I don't think we have enough offense on our back end. I think we need more offense on our back end, and brought in Tony DeAngelo for no apparent reason
And
other than
cost themselves
spearing
Johnny Gaudreau.
Corey Perry.
Man,
Like I how they saw what happened last summer and just allowed it to continue. What did they do at the deadline?
did they make a move?
They traded Zach McEwen for Brendan
Mm,
Lemieux and a pick. They didn't
yeah.
do anything of significance. They
So
had I don't understand how you can let this guy run the deadline.
it's funny because I realized listening back to our trade deadline episode with Daniel, and I think we forgot to mention the Flyers. AKA, obviously, James Van Riemsdyk was not traded. Apparently, and we everyone saw it happen on Twitter. It looked like he was going to get dealt to Detroit, but it was basically it was only going to happen if Detroit can make another move. Obviously, that move did not happen, and that's why James Van Riemsdyk was not traded. Um, and Fletcher really just kind of made excuses at his press conference when you look back at it. It's just because the real kick in the dick is probably the fact that business started getting done early at the trade deadline. So the fact that Fletcher never got anything done and I didn't get a good offer until like maybe half an hour, 40 minutes before the deadline, that's just not enough, man. I know a lot has been made the past couple of days and 32 thoughts as well were about this that maybe Fletcher has been a puppet to ownership here. And maybe that is a conversation we have one day. But I see. Here's the thing: they don't do that often, but there's still a part of me that's like, I don't completely buy that. I'm sure that
I don't
it's
know.
the Flyers, and there's definitely some in there, but I do think there is enough here to go to Fletcher and say, listen, dude, you. This is not the second. This is not the first time he has had this disastrous a run as a GM.
Yeah, but I can totally buy he's a puppet for the owner. Like, he's not the only guy. Like, Philadelphia's not the only team that's had these problems. We can list it.
Vancouver.
We can Vancouver, Ottawa for a good period
Oh
of
god,
time.
yeah, yeah, that was bad.
Um, what's the other team? Uh, the Oilers for a good period, not anymore, thankfully, but for a period of time. Not the owners, but the 80s Oilers who were there. Like, I would absolutely believe that he is a quote unquote puppet for someone there. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, you look at the disaster he had created in Minnesota. What what did Flyers management watch what happened there and say, yeah, we should bring him in. Like, I get it. You didn't like Ron Hextall because he wouldn't play Carter Hart, which
We will get to Carter Hart.
like hindsight is 2020, but I think you let the goalie guy deal with the goalie.
They also said last night that maybe the Flyers look at the way they start developing players better, and everyone was like, "Isn't that what Hextall was talking about with Carter Hart?" So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny, isn't it?
I don't get it. I don't understand what has changed in the last week. So now what? Danny Briere is interim general manager. He can't make moves really until the summer, which we don't even know if he'll be around, if he's going to be the guy to do that. Like, what do they do? How do they get better? First off, here's the question. Are they rebuilding?
So it sounds like maybe there are something we should mention is also it does look like there will be a president brought up as well. So it will be a president as well as a GM, sort of the model that's becoming more and more sort of prevalent in the NHL lately. So listen, it sounds like Tortorella is going to stay around from everything that's been put out there.
Sure.
If they are rebuilding, I don't know. At this point, the problem that they have is they're just so stuffed full of like Ryan Ellis's contract. God bless that guy. Like that's a guy who's going to finish his career in Arizona when enough money is paid off. Let's be honest here. But assuming because that was given out in Nashville, I don't know how much is on it. Couturier, God bless him, what's happened there. There's a lot of mess to clean up, and everyone sort of says Danny Briere has worked his way up. And listen, former Hab, I have a soft spot for Danny Briere, I won't lie. There's a lot of work there. And not even if he gets the job, which it feels like he will. I mean, otherwise, it sounded like he was going to be gone. If they don't give him that job, I'm assuming one day he will be gone because we know there was interest in Danny Briere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see who that president is because obviously Kent Hughes is a much different person, but Jeff Gordon is an experienced executive, and that's a good partner for him to sort of have. I think it's almost more important to see what that other partner is, and we make bets, is it a former Flyer? Because that's going around a lot. Especially, like, it's a lot to ask for a first-time GM. And again, it's like... And it's like Montreal too. There's a lot of comparisons here. I don't mean to really make it about the Habs,
No.
but the comparables to Montreal, and funny enough, Danny Briere being there, there's a lot of similarities there. But I think Flyers fans are much, much more willing to, at games at least, and at season ticket meetings, let you know that, hey there, this guy is trash, get rid of him.
I know, like, I know you're saying that like it'd be it's tough to be thrown into a situation like this. What's interesting though is like, if you've noticed, if the last few new general managers have not been put into particularly fantastic situations. Kent Hughes is number one, right? Kent Hughes going to Montreal, no experience prior. Patrick Alvin being thrown into Vancouver. He was with Jim Rutherford in Pittsburgh, but like the point, never was not a GM before that. Sorry. Mike Grier in San Jose, and then why can't I remember his name? GM of the Ducks.
Pat
Verbeek. Yeah, Pat Verbeek. No GM experience, right? So all these new guys are just getting thrown into messes.
We'll see how they do. Now they did float around one name in 32 Thoughts last night. Would Carter Hart want to live through a rebuild or play through a rebuild? So, listen, I want to propose him going to a team that is rebuilding as well, but they could sell his vision. They need a goalie of the future. And Alex, would it not be the best storyline that you've seen for the Montreal Canadiens to go out and get Carter Hart and have Carey Price
Well, that's if he's still there.
Mentor him. He doesn't need to be there. Doesn't need to be
Uh,
there. We have him
yeah, no,
mentor
he
Carter
has to.
Hart to be the
Carey
next. Oh yeah, I forgot
Carey
about that
Price's
bishop too.
contract has to be in
It no,
Montreal.
no, we're not doing this. He is not
Yeah.
going to be a Coyote. We're not entertaining this
Okay.
conversation. Not happening. I refuse. God
Okay.
damn it! I will riot outside the Bell Center if they do that. Anyway,
I hope you
but
know. I hope you know that's happening. We talk
Alex,
about the Flyers. There's like
let me do my
three
bit.
contracts there. That the
Alex, there's still a lot of real money on
Coyotes.
Carey Price's contract. The Coyotes
All
don't want to
right.
do that.
All
Anyway,
right.
what I'm saying though is that go get Carter Hart and have Carey Price, his idol,
Mm-hmm.
mentor him.
How about future Vezina winner Sam Montembeault? What happened to him?
You need two goalies nowadays, and by the time they're good, Jake Allen will
Uh,
be at the end of his career.
well, then you'll have Vezina winner Sam Montembeault and
Carter
Kaden
Hart.
Primo.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
No, 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 no. No, no, no,
oh,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
No, no, no,
The
no.
Heat's really died down on Kaden
No, yeah,
Primo.
yeah, yeah. I want Carter
Yeah.
Hart, man. You don't tell me that'd be a great story.
Yeah, it'd be a great story.
The torch is passed from Carey Price to another, dub.
Well, I mean, the
dub
torch was
goalie.
passed a couple years ago when
Alex,
Andre
I
Vasilevsky and
swear to
Carey
God.
Price shook
Alex,
hands.
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this goddamn chat. I'm gonna leave it.
I'm just saying it
Oh,
was.
hey, we're the Tampa Bay Lightning. We've got $100 million. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, no, we're such a great team. Look at us. We're illegal. We're illegal.
They're not illegal.
Well, I'm just saying that.
They're not. They followed the rules.
I mean, they bent it. No. What they did to the rule book, they didn't break it, but they basically did what clowns do with balloon animals. They warped it into a different shape.
Well, you're blaming the Tampa Bay Lightning for the dumbest.
Alex, if your team
invention
lost in
in
the
the world.
finals to that squad, you would know how it feels.